Welcome, everybody.
Welcome back. This is a magic episode number 10.
Oh, 2 digits.
Yes. This is
Double digits.
This is groundbreaking.
Yeah, this is cool. How's your week going?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Going good so far. How about you?
It's going good. It's actually going really good. I got some good news this week. But what I was going to say is I like having these on Thursday because it really kind of breaks up the week a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, the normal Monday through Friday, everybody going to work, doing all that kind of stuff. You're stuck to a routine a little bit. And then having something like this on a Thursday evening, it's not quite the weekend yet. It's kind of smack dab the middle of the week.
Yeah. It's a good Friday Eve project.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
So I like that. But so got some good news. My unemployment went through.
Awesome.
So we're getting everything back on track. Right as I picked up a job, but
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But
That's okay.
but it works out because we're all caught up on things.
Yeah.
She settled into her new job. Financially, we're figuring everything out now, so we're getting back on track.
Awesome. That's good news.
Speaking of work, though, so I wanted to touch on this a little bit, just because it's something kind of new to me. I was pretty much aware. I was very aware of it, but I'm learning a lot about it now because I have hands on with it now. I am working at GameStop again, just to give you guys a little info. I was there 6-7 years ago. I think it's been at this point. But so I got back with losing my job and everything, and they do card grading through PSA now.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a new and I feel like that's something with the industry constantly changing and the economy, fluctuating all the time. GameStop's always finding ways to keep afloat. I think, especially in the modern age of like digital gaming and just tariffs and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
Sure.
a video game's $80. A controller's $75, $80. Consoles are over $500.
That's just absolutely crazy to me. But
And the physical media part of it's definitely going away slowly.
right. Yeah.
But there is still the need for the physical products. But I think what it is someone in PSA has some kind of loop in with GameStop, I'm sure in the stock market or something somewhere.
Okay.
But so they're partnered with PSA and they card grade now. So what they do is, say you walk into a GameStop with some of your baseball cards and you're like, yeah, I'd like to send these out to be graded. So GameStop's like the middleman now. Mm-hmm. So you would set your few cards that you're sending out. And like on average right now, they're like $20 a card to send out.
That's what you charge a customer.
So say you had 3 baseball cards. And you have to bring them in penny sleeves and then the harder sleeve that goes over top of that. Mm-hmm. So what they do is they take photos of the front and back of the card to be mailed out. And at that point, it's kind of like gambling in a way. Because
you're paying $20 for something that might not
even be worth anything.
$20.
Yeah, like you could lose money on that transaction.
Yeah.
But
you can, there's enough information online, I think you can do
there's
a fair amount of homework to prepare you for the fact that, like, if knowing you're going to have to pay $20.
Yeah, you're not just sending any card out.
You're not just like picking up.
You've probably done some research. You've scanned the card, whether it's a Pokemon card or a Ken Griffey Jr. card or whatever.
Right.
And
you
have some kind of like, okay, I know this card's in good condition. There's no bends. There's no like, it's not peeling back. There's no like smudges and stuff on it. And like people take care of their cards and clean them and put them in sleeves, obviously. And nowadays, I have a small collection of cards, but like I tend to like, as soon as they're out of the package, put them right into a penny sleeve,
Yeah.
Or a binder or whatever it is.
I have thousands of cards that are not even in sleeves. Have been only because I have like 10,000 baseball cards. So it's like
you might be sitting on a gold mine though.
I doubt it. I mean, I might.
There might be a few.
I probably have a handful.
There's
of cards
probably a
that
couple
are worth
though.
Something.
Yeah.
I have a few that are worth something.
It doesn't hurt to try. Yeah. But so the interesting thing to me about this whole thing is like it's like anything else, especially in like the last decade of kind of what like not so much collectors go through, but there's a lot of scalpers out there now too. Cards have always been valuable here and there, and there's always like, every few years something's popular. But like, 10 years ago, the Funko Pop thing was like mad.
Yeah, that was a big
But
deal.
the problem, because I've worked in lots of retail businesses that sold those, and, these companies have street dates for these items, and, a wave of these, say it's like an exclusive from Comic-Con or something, you get these guys that line up outside your store before you open because they know the release date, they know how many you're getting. Because these guys that scalp that kind of stuff are looking up the SKUs on like Overstock.
Yeah,
and
so they want to get their hands on it so they can
they
turn
can
around
resell
and sell it on the secondary market
Oh,
and make
yeah.
money, which is a bunch of crap. But I mean, I get it.
And that's where like businesses had to start putting like limits on how many you could buy. You know, stopping employees from scalping stuff too.
Yeah.
At like Hot Topic and GameStop and Target and all these places. Unfortunately, and it's been going on for a while, but the card thing is back at that stage.
That's crazy
where like,
to me.
And you know what's crazy? Once you're kind of like in it a little bit, you start to notice those people. Like I was at Meijer yesterday. I was looking at some collectibles.
Yeah.
And I'm just going down the aisle and like I see these few like middle-aged guys all straight to the card section, and you already know what they're doing. Like
They sell cards at Meijer.
oh yeah.
Like
Baseball, Pokemon,
all that.
Yu-Gi-Oh,
Oh, really?
Dragon Ball, Magic.
Like I've been so out of touch with that because, like I said, I collected cards as a kid, like every American kid did in the,
yeah.
middle 70s. Baseball cards were cool. We traded them, we had them, and then all of a sudden, like in the 80s, it kind of became a thing where, like, oh, if you have a Pete Rose rookie, it's worth $1,000, and you're like, oh shit. So I mean, we used to go to there was a store in town that essentially that's pretty much all they did was sell baseball cards,
right?
And like baseball memorabilia, autographed baseballs, stuff like that. That's like what they did. Like you go down there like a couple times a week and like, look in the counter and drool over, oh my God, there's a frickin' Roberto Clemente card.
Yeah.
It's worth, it's $250 or whatever it was. And you're like, so my friends and I, we would like go to the gas station or whatever and buy packs of cards, for like a quarter.
Yeah.
With the gum, the bubble gum in them. And they go, oh, what'd you get? And you trade and stuff. And you're like, it was so crazy. And like, I was like really into it. And like, I even was into it into my like late teens, like until I went to college. And then I kind of like, whatever. Just kept them.
Yeah.
And I still have them. And it and then it kind of died off. Like nobody cared. It's like, and my dad always made fun of me. He's like, well, those are only worth what somebody's willing to pay for. And I'm like, well, yeah.
Well, but, and in today's age, people are willing to pay a lot of money for stuff.
And people were then, too. Would spend
you just got to,
money
like,
on this stuff.
know who to talk to.
It's like, you got to find the...
Yeah, and, like, even now, like, I've been to multiple card shops just around the Youngstown area because they all kind of coincide, And, like, so, for example, there's, I don't know if you know what Magic the Gathering is, but it's like... It's more geared towards adults, but it's like a fantasy card game, like medieval style kind of game with like monsters and mythical creatures and stuff. And
so like
it's like the adult
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Okay. And they do a lot of crossovers.
Which, by the way, in the early '80s was also like a wildly crazy
Dungeons
thing.
and Dragons.
Yes,
yeah, and still is.
Now it's a thing again.
Yeah, it's like you said, it just comes full circle.
Yeah.
Like every few years, something just kind of resurfaces. And so Magic 2 years ago had done a crossover with Lord of the Rings. Okay. So they made an entire line of cards based off of like Tolkien and all the creatures and characters from those stories. Okay. And so whenever they do a new line of cards, like, people are out there trying to buy every little thing. And I don't know if you've heard about this, but over a couple months after the cards had been out, I'd bought a handful myself. There was it's a 1-of-1 card, and it was the One Ring, and it was like a foil card. So like there was another One Ring card, but this one was like a specific one.
Special, yeah.
So a 1-of-1 card. It ended up having like basically like a bounty put on it. Like people are like, I will pay this amount of money to get that card because everybody wanted it. Mm-hmm. Well, this guy, I can't remember his name. I looked at his name before I came here today, but he owned a card shop somewhere.
Okay.
And Post Malone is a huge Lord of the Rings fan.
Oh, all right.
So he reached out to this guy. He found out he had the card, and he paid this guy $2.6 million
Are you
for
shitting
this
me?
Yeah.
They did like and I'm not sure how familiar you are with baseball cards, but they've done these things.
I had a handful.
They've done these things where like they have like a piece of the guy's jersey, like a little piece of it, like on the card,
in the card. Yeah,
They've done those in the past.
Okay.
I think this card was like that, and it was the same. And I don't remember the number. It was not. Nobody paid $2 million for it, but it was like a significant amount of money. Yeah, same thing. There was a bounty on it, and like the Pirates were saying, hey, if you bring us the card, you get season tickets for the rest of your life and all this like crazy stuff. It was just
Oh
weird.
my
It's just
God.
wild
That's
stuff.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's, yeah. I mean, that is just so crazy because I just remember, like, I went through this phase and a lot, if you ever sat down and looked through my cards, like when I was probably like 12, 13 years old, I would collect cards for like specific players.
Sure.
Like I like this player or this guy. And then I would try to get all of the cards
Of that guy.
From his career, all the different, it used to just be Topps baseball cards. And then, they came out and then there was the Donruss and the Bowman and the Fleer and the this, that, and the other. And it's just like, it became a whole,
Yeah.
you could get cards into Twinkie packages and stuff.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
just wild.
Yeah. Like
it
cereal
became
boxes.
cereal boxes, all kinds of crazy stuff.
For a little bit of time when I was really into watching the Penguins, I was following trying to get Crosby cards for quite a bit. I have a few of them, and some of them are pretty nice.
Are they worth anything?
I haven't looked to see if those are worth anything yet.
Yeah, because I have a few basketball cards and a few football cards, maybe handful of hockey cards. But the value always at the time when I was into it was in baseball cards. There seemed to be except for like if you had like a Wayne Gretzky rookie card, or I do have a Joe Montana rookie card, which I know has got some value to it. I currently is valued at, but that I do know I have.
And it's cool because like in that market, it really doesn't matter which you're into, like whether you're into Pokemon or baseball or basketball. Like we had a guy bring in a bunch of NFL cards, and I guess he got one back that was worth $1,000, and then he ended up selling it to GameStop afterwards.
Oh, so you guys will
we'll buy the graded ones, and then they get sold online through GameStop's website.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and like that's become like a big thing for them now. Like it's a good business.
Well, I mean, it makes sense in the sense that they're taking advantage of something that's hot in the market, which probably doesn't really cost them a whole lot of money to do.
Probably not.
I mean, obviously you have store overhead and all that kind of stuff that you can, but that's kind of baked into whatever, no matter what they are into. But, just the process of like, okay, let's see, we take pictures, we seal the card up and we send it off.
Ship it out,
and then it comes back. Not a whole, like it's not labor intense.
Not a ton of gain, I guess, probably. Not every store does it. I guess they're selected.
Oh, okay.
Like, I guess a store has to be at like a certain status to be able to take cards to get graded. But it's really cool, and it kind of brought me back into it a little bit. Not so much as a collector, but like just curious to like maybe find out what I own that might be worth something.
Yeah.
Like, there's some apps and stuff to give you like a general idea of what your card might be worth. Like some aren't accurate.
It's funny because back in the day before we had the internet, Topps would publish a book every year of like card values.
Okay.
So everything from like the previous year's really, the 1984 season and prior. Okay. So, a Mickey Mantle's worth this, or, a Keith Hernandez card from 1982 is worth this. It goes through and it tells you like, and I'm sure that the PSA thing is still the same. There was like always an excellent and then good. And you could have like cards that are like printed off center that affects them too.
Yeah.
Like it could be mint condition, but like it's printed off center or something like that. And that lowers the value of it.
I was watching some stuff on that too, like, cause it grades from 1 to 10.
Yeah.
And like a 1 is a card that's been played with, got some wrinkles or like that's peeling back
Corners
a little. And then like a perfect card, a 10 is like, it just looks flawless.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. And I was even watching a guy grade cards, like wherever they do that. And like the whole process is so cool. And I honestly, like, because it is kind of costly and you're gambling basically to send one out, I'd like to maybe pick a couple, just like 1 or 2 that I do some research, see if they're maybe worth just a little bit of money. Yeah. And like maybe that I like, because some of them have sentimental value too.
Sure. Absolutely.
Just based off of what they are. And I just think it'd be cool to like get something like that done.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
I had downloaded an app and I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I think I had downloaded it because Brian Urlacher, who played for the Bears, was on a podcast and it came up that he was somehow involved with the app or backing it, funding it. I don't know what. So I'm like, I got all, okay, I'm going to download this. I'm going to scan all these freaking cards in, right? So A, I have an inventory. B, I know if I have anything. I never did it. I got 10,000 cards, and it's like, you think about it and you go, yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I'd be willing to help you. If I had some free time, I could sit down and like maybe just go through some and, you know.
It'd be interesting to see what's in there. I have some older cards. Like I kind of got into a thing where I would like buy older cards like from the 50s and 60s and stuff once I like was old enough that I had a job, had some money that I could spend.
Right.
That's what I spent it on.
Yeah.
But anyhow, and I would go to card shows. Like that was the thing.
They're pretty cool.
I went to a few of those as
I'm
a
sure
kid.
they're different now compared to then. But
yeah, but back in the day when when the baseball card thing was super hot, they would have baseball players there that
that's
come
cool.
and then you can pay them $15 and they'll sign a baseball for you or bat
or a card
whatever,
or something.
a card, yeah. And then their whole thing became. I think you and I touched on this a little bit about the sports memorabilia world.
Yes,
like that was it still is a big deal, but it was a big deal, and then it kind of became an issue because people wanted certification or authentication that like this person actually signed that thing. Because like when I was a kid, we go to a baseball game and you'd have a ball or a card or a post something, and you get a guy to sign it. That was like, hey, I
actually walk up and sign it.
This dude sign it.
Yeah,
and and there are still people that do that. Like if you ever go to a golf tournament or something, especially like where the big names are playing, or go to a baseball game, a football game, and you'll see these dudes like my age. They got these freaking binders full of crap, and they're like get pictures, and they want players to sign them, and they're just trying to get it signed so they can turn around and sell it.
Yeah, and
it became a thing where buyers were getting burned on spending $500 on this autographed football from Peyton Manning, only to find out it wasn't Peyton Manning that signed it. Somebody
yeah, we have a buddy
signature.
My buddy that owns the toy shop in Boardman. A lot of guys, they're around their mid 40s or so. But there's this one guy, because they're all into wrestling, like really into wrestling, classic and current.
Okay.
But they have this one guy that goes to like every single convention. Every time there's a wrestler there, he makes sure that he meets these celebrities or wrestlers or whatever.
Yeah.
And he gets a signature, and he's always trying to flip it to make money. And like back to like this whole idea of just like collecting and like scalping things. There's people that just do this for a living. Like they don't have jobs, and they just go out and scalp what they can, flip what they can, and they make money off of that kind of stuff. And it's kind of like,
I feel like that you got to work awful. Like that is a job. I feel like you.
I mean, you definitely have to work towards it.
You have to work.
Not saying you're lazy,
hard,
but like
you kind of got to work kind of hard to make a living doing that.
Yeah.
You're talking. I mean, I'm sure there are some wrestlers, just like there are athletes or musicians whose signature, whose autograph is worth a bunch of money, right? But at the end of the day, most of them, you get an autographed picture from Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills, and you might be able to sell it for like $50.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of, you got to sell a lot of freaking autographed pictures to make a living.
Yeah, and like cards and like toy collecting and all that kind of sports memorabilia, all that stuff. There's a fine line between like the collector, the person that's trying to make a buck off of it, and then like someone like me, like I still collect things. Like I'm not as heavy into it as I was, but like there are some things that like I'm pretty particular about what I get. But when I do, I'm like, that's something I get because I want it, and it kind of like fills this like being in the adult world, it kind of fills this like childhood kind of
I get that
hole sometimes.
I get that.
And especially like when you did stuff with your parents, or like you just have some kind of core memory from that specific thing.
Yeah.
Like I recently got this Silver Age Superman, and like my dad had like what's the original Superman actor? Do you remember his name? I don't remember his name, but my dad had a figure of the original Superman. When I'm put on the spot, I can't remember. I had got something like that recently to like kind of replace that, because I don't have that. I don't know where it even is, but it's just cool to like have something like that now. Yep.
Okay.
But yeah,
so you're not. Are you talking about Christopher Reeve, or you're talking
Christopher
about,
Reeve?
Okay,
yeah.
I thought you were talking about this guy who was actually played Superman in the live action 1948.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kirk Allen was his
Kirk
name.
Allen. Yeah. Yeah.
Him, and then George Reeves was the guy that played him when they did the Superman show on TV.
Right. Okay.
In the late 50s, early
Yeah.
60s. Yeah.
Christopher, do you watch that documentary? Have you seen that?
But I have not watched
It's very good.
Is it good?
It's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's really cool because of everything he went through.
Yeah. Is that what he...
No, he got injured. You know, he was Superman and,
Yeah.
and he was an actor and all that, but
Yeah.
he got thrown off a horse or something.
Okay. No,
And
yeah,
he was paralyzed.
Okay, that's right.
And then he ended up the rest of his life. It was pretty sad. But I think Robin Williams was the person that came to him when he was in the ER or recovering, and like he's like, I hadn't smiled or even laughed in such a long time. I don't remember what the joke was, but he came in and like made him laugh immediately.
Robin Williams is the kind of guy that could make you laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, so cool story about Robin Williams. So I was at a show in San Francisco at a place called Wolfgang's. Are you familiar with Bobcat Goldthwait? Okay, Bob Goldthwait, who is a comedian. He was in Police Academy, so he did like the screaming kind of like him. It was like him and Sam Kinison were kind of like the same type of
level of comedy.
Yeah, like the same kind of like crude, and the delivery was similar or whatever. So I was there with, I was probably like 18 or 19. So we go to see him. There's like me and like 4 or 5 of my friends or whatever. So we're sitting they have like this balcony area. We're sitting at a table up there because it was kind of like an old school, like almost like had like a supper club feel to it, like a table, like for a comedy show, they had tables that you could sit at, and they had like a little bar and a little food and stuff. So we were in this balcony area, and we're just sitting there, and I think it was in between sets. He was going to come on, I think, next, and there was like this ruckus of like people coming in or whatever, and we're just kind of like whatever. And so all of a sudden, a bunch of people sit down at this table next to us, and I just kind of glance over there, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Robin Williams.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he shows up at the show. Yeah, and so
wow.
I guess Bobcat knew that he was there and had him come up there, and he's just like improvising for like 15 minutes. He's freaking hilarious.
That's so awesome.
It was just
it
was really cool.
What year was that?
This would have been probably 86, 88.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
This is a totally random thing, but in 8th grade, we took our a school trip to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I think most schools probably do that.
Schools around here, like everybody did that.
So the week that we happened to be there, and this was wild, and like I don't even know if I had a cell phone yet. So we're walking down, I think it was after we went to the Lincoln Memorial. We're walking down whatever street it was, because we were trying to get to a place to have lunch, because we were trying to get to the train station, where there's like a underground mall there with the train station and all that.
Yep.
And we're at this crosswalk, and they have all this stuff blocked off, and traffic's being directed and everything. And we're like, why is it so busy? Like it was absurdly busy in this spot of town.
Like in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
like
in the middle of the day. It was and we're there in the middle of the week, and it turns out they were filming National Treasure.
Oh. Cool.
Right there, and we saw Nicolas Cage on the sidewalk with like some camera crew and stuff.
That's freaking cool.
It was nuts.
I always liked that movie.
I do too. I thought it was so good.
I think did I read recently that they're trying to revive that for another one?
So he did 2.
Right.
And then Disney did a complete like reboot recently with I think a girl.
Okay.
But I heard something else too about him coming back to do another movie.
I think. I don't know if that was accurate or not.
No, but I've heard some. I listen to a lot of I listen to a movie podcast, so like they're always up on the movie news with anything.
They did 3 movies. He was in 3 because there was National Treasure, so that was the one where he steals the Declaration of Independence, the first one, right? And then they had the
Wasn't it
one
called like the Golden Circle or something
with his parents. Like remember his mom and dad were divorced, and it was like the lost city of something or other. Like they were out in like the Black Hills near Mount Rushmore, and they found like some hidden city.
You might be right, because now.
And then he did Book of Secret, the Book of Secrets for the President's Book.
Oh, you're right. Maybe they did do 3 of them.
They did 3.
Wow, I'm gonna go watch those.
I always really liked. I always thought the first.
I always thought they
really
were like
cool.
a cool, like modern Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
kind of
It
style.
kind of had that feel to it.
You know.
Yeah. So they had. Let me see here. All right, let me see here.
There's a movie with John Krasinski that came out this year that's supposed to be like a mix of like National Treasure and Indiana Jones that I guess is pretty good. I guess it kind of flew under the radar, but I guess it's pretty solid.
I'm trying to see how many.
For some reason, I thought there was only 2, but I could be totally wrong.
I could be wrong too.
Leave us a comment. Let us know if there's more than 2 National Treasure movies.
Okay, that came out in 2004. Yeah.
Because I remember the scene when he's at the like banquet at the White House.
Yeah.
When he like is talking to the president.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. 2004, Book of Secrets. And then there was supposedly going to be a third one that
never
happened.
Yeah. That'd be cool to see him do that again. He's kind of come back up recently in some films and done
he's
some
been
good
in
stuff.
some stuff. Did you, speaking of him as an actor, I haven't watched it yet. I think it's called Pig.
Pig.
I think it's the name of it, where he's like a truffle farmer guy. Or I haven't seen it either.
No, now that you say that, I remember that one.
I just never watched it.
There was something I wanted to get into. In the meantime, I could tell you a story.
Okay, I like stories.
Well, if you guys want a story time real quick. This is out of the blue. So I listened to a very interesting story that's just like doesn't seem real. This is kind of on the level of like Wong. You guys remember Wong?
Wong Place Wong.
This story is about Simone. She is a camp counselor from some part of Germany I can't pronounce. And so basically what happened was there's this camp every summer, just like any other. Bunch of kids get dropped off for a week, have camp, you got all your camp counselors. Well, at the end of the week, all the kids go home. The camp counselors stay there for a little longer because I think they either have another week of campers coming. Yeah,
depending on where it is. I mean, some places,
some people just like to stay there. You like to be there. So all the camp counselors retreat to their section of the campgrounds where they have tents set up. They got all their stuff. And of course, this day was the hottest day of the time that they had spent there. They set up a campfire. They're doing their thing, just hanging out. And so they all decide to go to sleep. And they're in a deeper part of the woods. And like this is in Germany too. So I imagine it's very different compared to some places around here because it was like a pretty mountainous area. So it's very humid. Some of the counselors, like they start, they get out of their tents. Simone decides she's going to pull her cot out and just sleep under the stars for the night. So Simone falls asleep and she has this horrific nightmare. And I don't know if you've ever had like a extremely vivid dream before or nightmares, but I've had a couple where like you feel like you can't wake up or you feel like you were sleeping for a lifetime, really which I could tell that story later too.
I've experienced it once or twice too, and it's creepy.
Maybe we'll talk about that.
It's weird.
So Simone in this dream, she's in this like war-torn, apocalyptic, like almost like a nuclear holocaust city.
Okay.
And there's like you can see like the city line and all these buildings are just torn like a bomb had went off. Uh-huh. And there's like a line of people this way and a line of people this way, and they're all just standing there looking at her. And like you can tell they're all like their clothes are torn. They've obviously been in some kind of horrific event.
Yeah.
And there's a man on her left and a man on her right. And she told this story. This is directly from her.
Okay.
The man on the right picks up this like wreath looking thing and goes to place it on her head. And then the man on her left grabs the other side of this wreath and pulls it down on her head. And these guys are like pulling it down as hard as they can. And immediately she starts to feel this like blind, numbing pain that just like excruciating pain. Mm-hmm. And she's not waking up from it either. So it turns out they were putting a crown of thorns on her head. So now these thorns are digging into her scalp. She's like, I can't scream. I can't react to the pain. I can't do anything. Yeah. And in her dream, she's like, you don't really have much control of what's going on. It continues. It gets worse. And then finally it got so bad that she just wakes up. And then, she wakes up and she's immediately like, oh my God, like it was just a dream. Thank God. And she they're in the pitch black of the woods at this point. There's no lights on. They don't have any fires burning. And she feels the top of her head and she can't see anything, but she can feel something sticky. So she tries to call for someone else and she starts freaking out. And then someone comes over. Another counselor is fumbling for a flashlight and they finally got some light on her and then they start screaming and they're freaking out and they're like, we got to get her somewhere. Like it's just chaos at this point. And they're trying to get her into a vehicle. And I forgot to mention, before they saw her, she saw something running around in the woods, but she was in so much pain she couldn't focus on that.
This was after she woke up. She saw something in the woods? Okay.
Yeah. They finally get her in the car and they get her on the way to an ER. And it turns out that there was a fox eating at her scalp while she was sleeping and took like 20 some chunks out of her scalp.
I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on foxes by any stretch, but that doesn't seem normal to me.
No, it doesn't seem
That's
normal.
not normal fox behavior.
It doesn't seem like it.
I mean, if it was a wolf, sure.
But it was crazy because once she, was taken care of and, they were able to stitch her scalp back together. Like everything, she recovered totally fine. But the fact that she explained many times, like,
that's crazy.
The fact that her body didn't go into like flight mode and wake herself up and like realize that you were actually being harmed in real life. It's like the trauma being done to her scalp synced up with her dream sequence, which is insane.
That is insane. That's
and
wild.
To this day, she says she has phantom pain in her scalp and all this kind of stuff.
Where did you hear this story?
So there is this, you guys may watch him. There's this YouTube channel called Mr. Ballin's Strange, Dark, and Mysterious. He's a guy that has his own show who he just tells stories.
Okay.
That's all he does.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it's supernatural, some of it's UFO, some of it's like camping, serial killers, all like literally anything you could think of. He covers it. And he actually has like a group of people now and multiple podcasts that do like their own stories. So it's branched off quite a bit. And he even published a couple books on some of these stories. And this one, I heard this one just randomly recently.
That's a wild
and I was
story.
like, there is no way. Go ahead. Yeah, you know what? This is right. Yeah.
Because it's similar but different.
Yeah.
So I wasn't asleep when this happened.
Thank God.
So where I grew up in California, we had a place outside of town that was an abandoned sanitarium. When it was originally opened, it was around 20s or 30s, something like that, and it was for mainly for kids, but for people that had tuberculosis, like they would isolate them. So so they turned it into a place for ill patients and so on and so forth. So it had been abandoned for a number of years. And this place was way outside of town, like probably a good from the furthest outskirts of the town that I lived in, probably 5 miles out. And I lived in it was the valley. So we had hills. They weren't mountains, but there were hills.
Right.
And so this was kind of like going up into the hills on the outskirts of the town that I grew up in. So it was always a thing to go up there. So you go up this road, and when you got to right by the sanitarium was off to this side. The road was closed off, blocked off, because it was like a way to get to the reservoir. So you had to be like a city or county employee or government employee to get past there. So but they had like this circle, like turnaround circle. People would go up there, drink, smoke, do all kinds of stupid shit, which we'd done many times. Not the drinking, the smoking, but just dumb shit. You just go up there. So
mess around.
But the challenge was always to walk from the road and go into the sanitarium.
Right.
And it was probably a good couple 100 yards off the road. And I'm talking pitch black. I mean, there's nothing out there. Nothing. No lights, no nothing. So there was a barbed wire fence that you had to climb, which was not a big deal because so many people had climbed it over the years that it was pretty easy to get over.
Oh, okay. Bent up and stuff.
We had been out there numerous times in our high school careers with the intention that this was going to be the night we were going to do it.
Right.
Never had the balls to do it. So this would have been the summer before my senior year in high school. There's 5 of us, and we're like, tonight's the night. So we cram into my buddy's VW Rabbit, and we go up there. We're like, this is the night.
Okay.
The other car.
Yeah.
So the town, like, I gotta kind of set this whole scene too, because the town I grew up in was kind of interesting. So my dad has a PhD in math, and so he worked for a national laboratory. So there were 2 big national labs in this town. One that did the designing of nuclear weapons, and
Wow.
another one was responsible for like the testing of nuclear weapons
Okay.
and so on and so forth.
It's kind
And
of cool.
so we had two really large high schools in our town. So on the other side of town, there were more. So there's also like a farming, ranching community part of the town I grew up in. So those people that went to that high school were the Hicks.
Okay.
Like they were the Hicks,
Yeah.
and like we were like the normal, like the normal people. Yeah. So it was always a thing in our town. And so we go up there that night. We're going to do it. Like tonight's the night. There's nobody up there.
Hell yeah.
So, after a lot of deliberating and bullshitting and like, should we really do it? And I was like, I don't know. We do it. I'll go over the fence, and you're walking up this. And by this time, your eyes have somewhat adjusted to being dark. You can't see, but you can
kind of see in front of you and make shape.
So we're like walking up this path that leads to this thing, and we're almost there. We're almost to the building. And it was kind of like, so now the conversation is like, are we going in the building when we get there? Like, is that going to be the thing?
Plan?
Is that the plan? And, so we're all kind of like talking. And all of a sudden I hear something. And I'm going, did you guys hear that? She's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, wait, listen. It sounded like dogs. I could hear like panting. And I'm like, you guys hear that? And one guy goes, yeah, kind of. And so we walk a little bit further. And I can still hear this. And it's not loud, but it sounds like panting. It sounds like multiple dogs. Then all of a sudden, I can hear. So the area that we were on was like, there was like a paved pathway. And there were a number of these because this was like a huge building. There were like these pathways, like driveways to get up there.
Yeah.
Now I can hear sounds like in the distance, not maybe like 100 yards away, 50 yards away, let's just say. Now I can hear it almost sounds like they're running. You can hear their claws on like the concrete.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, you guys hear that? And I'm like, fuck this. I'm out. I just turned, I'm like, I'm out of here. And they're like, where are you going? I'm like, you guys don't fucking hear this? There's dogs coming. Now you can hear them panting. And it's like now because they're running.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, I'm gone. And now I in this group of guys, one dude was a track dude. Another guy was a cross-country runner. But you can bet your ass I got to that fence first. I'm running, and I could hear him, and I could hear him behind me. Like, I swear to God, I will go to my grave telling you we were being chased by dogs. I don't know how many. I get to that freaking barbed wire fence. I freaking like fucking Carl Lewis, baby. I'm like, like jumped over the thing. Then like rolled onto the road. This time everybody else is coming. I beat these guys by like 20 yards to the fence. Everybody gets over the fence, and we're just standing there. Now we're like, because it's like, okay, if they're chasing us, now what are we going to do? We're going to like try to cram back into the VW Rabbit and get the hell out of here because we're out in the open.
Right.
Again, now we've stopped running. And I'm kind of like, it was like one of those moments where time just almost stands still.
Yeah.
Like, or it's going really slow. Like we're all just kind of like, I can almost remember it like it was yesterday. Like we're just kind of standing there looking back toward this barbed wire fence, toward this building. Everything's just kind of moving slow. And I'm just waiting for these dogs, right? They're going to come.
To hit the fence.
They're going to get to the fence, jump the fence. I don't know, something. We're all going to get mauled to death. And they're all looking at me like, what the hell, dude? Yeah. Like, and I'm like, you guys heard that, right? And I'm like, one dude's like, I mean, I don't know. You said you were leaving and you ran and we just all came after you because you were scared. And I'm like, we were being chased by dogs, guys. You sons of bitches never saw me run that fast in your entire life.
Yeah, and like, why would you?
Right. Like, right.
Like, unless there was something threatening.
Correct. And there was nothing there. And I'm like, okay, we're out of here.
That's crazy, man.
It was absolutely terrifying.
Because you know that feeling of like, we've all done something where you're like in a situation like that. And like Abby and I talked about it on one of the last episodes, our experience in the barn.
Right.
Where like we all witnessed something, whether it was real or not. We all saw the same thing, and we booked it out of there.
Yeah.
And that was like the flight or fight mode that kicked in.
That's what I was in. And when the weird part was like nobody else could like verify that they actually heard this, or
some were just really unsure.
We're running. As I'm leading pack of dudes down the hill back to the car. You know, I'm running like, ready to go. You know, there's yelling now because everybody's like, why are we doing this? And that was the weird part, was to get there at the end and get to the road and go, and there's nothing there. I mean, and I was absolutely, it was almost like, and this probably only happened like a couple times in my entire life. I'll have another story to share at some point in time. Same location, different events.
Yeah.
And this was another one of those cases where you're like so scared that you just do something. Like,
Yeah.
you don't even think about it.
Yep.
I'm like, these dogs are coming after us. I'm not going to get mauled to death by dogs up here.
No.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. And I just did it.
Yeah, your natural instinct kicked in and you left. Like that's what you do.
Yeah, and I'm like trucking down this
tearing
hill.
up the yard.
Dude, I was just like freaking. I could have won a gold medal that night. It was crazy.
So I have a similar kind of situation where I did the same thing, and it's the first time was the worst.
Okay.
So this is where I'm convinced I've had sleep paralysis a few times.
Okay.
And this happened in my last apartment, probably like 2018, 2019. Okay. Yeah, right around that time. Like the bedroom was kind of up over the top of the thing. Right. So I'm in bed. This is it's weird because it happens the same every time.
Oh, it's happened to you more than once?
It's like
that's same exact type
same thing every time. So the first time I wake up, at least I thought I was awake, and I still don't know if I was or not because of how I reacted. But I wake up and I'm laying flat on my back, and there is this, I'm talking man-sized spider, like curled up and dangling right above me from like a web, you know? Scariest shit I've ever seen in my life. And
I'm not a fan of spiders, and a man-sized spider makes it even that much
right.
worse.
Because I was like frozen for a second. Mm-hmm. And the second I was able to move, I got up and I ran my ass downstairs so fast, like I was about to be murdered.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I was still like, I made it down the stairs and to the kitchen, and I feel like I'm just waking up at that point.
Now, when you got to that point, did you realize why you had come down the steps and gone to the kitchen? Like, did you?
So I did.
Okay.
And for a moment, I was afraid to go back upstairs.
You're like, yeah.
Because I was like, was that real?
Yeah.
And then I slowly made my way back up, and I'm just like, am I crazy, or was that just a dream? And so whatever, it happened. Even in the place we live now, happens like every few months, like every couple months. And like I'll fall asleep on the couch, same thing. I'll like almost like feel it. Like I can feel the presence of this like big long-legged spider.
That's
I don't know if you've ever seen these before. You ever seen like the crab spiders in the ocean?
Yeah.
Like those things that they have like big long legs.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that mixed with like a regular spider. And I've had that dream probably, I can't even tell you how many times. But well, whether it's a dream or not, I see it with my eyes. Like in our current like whatever room I'm in.
Yeah.
But it's somewhere in some state between waking up and sleeping that I'm seeing it. And it's terrifying, man. Like that first time, and I've gotten up a couple times since then too. Uh-huh. Like, depending on how intense it is. Mm-hmm. There's been a few times I've got up and just ran, or I've woken up and like gasped, like to catch my breath. And it's so scary. I've never like had a sleep test done or anything, or I don't know how you even get that.
Dude, like we could talk about dreams. To me, are it's like very interesting stuff. Like I'm one of those people. Like your mom will. It's like she can recount dreams. I know you can do that.
Yeah, some.
Like I very rarely remember dreams, so when I do, it's like it's sort of this like a big deal. But like when we're asleep, we get to that stage of that like deep sleep, rapid eye movement thing, and you are dreaming. Your brain is still going, but I rarely remember them. But I think like when you hear I hear people talk about dreams that they've had and the people that are in them or the circumstance, like how, like one dream that I have had a number of times in my adult life, which is just really weird, is I'm in high school and I can't remember the combination of my locker.
That's crazy.
Like how,
that's a weird one.
How weird is that? And I'll like wake up.
And it's like real short.
Yeah. It's like real short.
Yeah.
It's real short. And I wake up knowing that that's what was going on in my head.
Yeah.
And I go, I'll go like, okay, that was really weird. Like what? But I've had that. I can't tell you how many times, but it's happened quite a few times.
I have a weird one like that too. That's short and it's just a white room, like almost like an abyss. Like there's nothing. It's just white room and me. And there's this, like probably the size of like a ping pong ball, but it's a silver ball, and it's just sitting on the ground. But every time I go to grab it, it rolls just a few feet away from me, and I've had it like multiple times.
Yeah,
and that's it. It's weird.
I think it's really fascinating how
Dreams are crazy.
another one that I have, because I'll wake up from this too, is like the falling ones. Like
yeah.
Like I'm like
I
at
hate
some
those.
super high point, like whether it's a building, a bridge, whatever it is, and you're falling, and then you wake up. Like those are so creepy because
Yeah.
like you wake up and you like your heart, you can feel your heart racing, you're breathing,
Catching your breath.
yeah, and you're going,
Yeah, it's the
you're like,
worst.
oh crap, yeah,
That's like that's what makes that movie Inception so interesting.
right, yes,
Because it's literally like that's what the dream is, or the movie is.
Yeah,
It's them incepting different levels of dreams, and like how, like that kick you get when you're falling or whatever it is,
yeah,
or getting hurt. You know.
yeah. I've had a couple of those that I remember too, where like been involved in like a zombie apocalypse, type whatever, like
those are the
something
worst
like
ones.
that is happening, and you're like, we're like all trying to get across the bridge or whatever, and they're coming, and I've been shot in the leg, or got an arrow in my arm or whatever, weird stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's just crazy.
I don't want to tell it on this one, but I don't know if and mom ever told you, but I actually had a apocalyptic dream once that, no joke, it felt like a lifetime. It felt like it was 5 years. Like this experience that I had.
Yeah.
And everyone was in it, and I'm going to save it for another episode, but it's long.
Have you ever had
And a lot happened.
you got to say that for another episode. But have you ever had the dreams where like weirdly random people are in them?
Yeah, people
like some like 7th grade teacher you had, or some dude
Yeah.
that was like worked in a lunchroom or something is in it, and you're like, I haven't thought about Jack
Oh, yeah.
in 29 years, but he was into my dream or whatever.
Yeah. I've had like celebrities, random friends from like elementary school,
Yeah.
teachers, like
People
random
that-
people you encounter.
Yeah, like people or somebody you haven't talked to in like a decade or something is in this dream, and it's just like, that's so weird how that happens. Like,
Yeah.
or somebody that's like not even, maybe it's like somebody you just totally really disliked.
Yeah. I've had dreams about
That dude
people
is
that
like such
probably
a
don't
prick.
even exist.
This dude's such a prick.
Yeah. I know that I've had dreams about people that, like, in my dream they were so real, but they
like
aren't. It's not a
fictional
real
character.
person. Yeah. I don't know who. It's just
Yeah.
weird how you're,
Dreams are crazy.
depending on like what stage of your REM cycle you're in. Like you're in your deepest sleep, I think, right before you wake up.
I think that's correct in that.
I haven't
Yeah.
like studied that or looked into it too much, but I have a couple friends that like know about that kind of stuff and like actually like live by and study those kind of things.
It's really fascinating stuff. It's interesting. What's interesting to me is like how people can remember them more frequently than other people. Like I said, I have those two that happen not repeatedly, but frequently.
Yeah.
But other than that, like the random dreams, it's like I might remember one every like 6 months. Like
Yeah,
I'll
that's-
wake up the next morning and go, oh, that was weird. I was like,
Yeah.
I was climbing the Empire State Building and something weird like that. But
It's weird too because you can almost like remember it as you're waking up.
Yeah.
And then once you're awake, you
Yeah.
can't remember it at all. Because that happened
Yeah.
to me this morning.
yeah, or like you're having a dream and you wake up in the middle of
Oh,
it,
that's the worst.
and you kind of like, it's like watching a movie.
You like wish you could
want to know
resume.
how it ended, but you can't press play again. It doesn't.
There's been a couple times, and it's been on rare occasions, that I have like had continued dreams. Maybe once or twice. And
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those moments where I've got awakened up and I'm going, oh, that was kind of interesting. I'd like to see how that one ends. But and when you do fall back to sleep, it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, that's wild stuff. I feel like that's another thing we could even talk about on an episode. And
Yeah.
like I said, I know people that are into that kind
I
of
think
stuff.
it would be cool to have somebody on here that knows a little bit about that and would be willing to talk about it with us, because I don't really know anything about it.
I know,
the
like the bare minimum.
Bare minimum,
you know.
but I don't know much about it from the scientific standpoint. I know there are people who study that and analyze dreams and try to make them make sense to people. Like, oh, when you dreamt about your fourth grade teacher, it was because you had a crush on her or whatever.
Right.
Like, weird
Stuff like that.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Or like someone told me like the reason they're like that ball keeps rolling away from you.
yeah,
You know,
right. Yes.
like there's symbolism in dreams,
that
I
makes
guess,
sense.
you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Interesting.
it's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we ought to have somebody on here or a couple of people on here that if you know more than one that would be willing
Yeah.
to talk about it. I think it'd be really cool to further that conversation.
I think
That's a
soon
neat
enough
topic.
we're gonna have some paranormal people.
Awesome.
We're gonna have some dreams.
Yeah.
One thing before we go today,
Okay.
I have a special request for our guests. So I see you guys are all watching these videos, and we still need more subscribers.
What are we sitting at? We still at 9?
I think we're at 9, and
That's
there's
freaking
at least
terrible.
there's at least 30 or more of you watching the videos every week. So
So let's lay the groundwork for what is required to be a subscriber.
okay, so it's very simple. If you guys are going to watch these videos on YouTube and you want to know when they're posted every week, all you have to do right before you start watching that video, just give us a like, and then right to the right side there's a little subscribe button. Just hit subscribe.
Do you have to have an account to be a subscriber?
You do not.
There you go. Okay.
If you're just watching YouTube, well, hold on a second. I might be wrong on that. You might have to have an email to sign into YouTube, but most of you watching YouTube probably do have an account. But anyway, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell because that'll notify you when we post new episodes. But I'm going to set something right now. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers, okay? And we hit that number, and I will get a tattoo of the choosing that I think we'll put together something for them to vote for.
Okay.
And if we hit 1,000 subscribers, I will get a tattoo of the choosing.
Okay. Does the location on the body, is that also up for grabs?
I think so, yeah. I'm telling you, I'm setting it right now.
Okay.
1,000. I will
1,000.
do it.
If we got to 1,000 subscribers, that'd be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, and I feel like that's not asking too much. You know, share us with your friends. We're trying to get on Spotify. It's been a hassle, but we're going to get there eventually.
And if you're friends with anybody that's a part of this, that's sharing this on Facebook, just hit the share button too.
Don't even have to say anything.
You don't have to say anything. Just hit the share button, and it just gets it out there to more people.
Word of mouth is the best way for a podcast to grow. So if you could just help us out and like leave us a comment, leave us a like, subscribe, and like I said, 1,000 subscribers, I will get a tattoo of whatever choosing we go with, and maybe we'll put a poll up or something.
Some sort of a poll,
voting poll, or
and see what we come up with. That's a hell of a cool challenge. That's awesome.
All right. Well, if you tune in today, thanks for joining in, and we'll see you next time.